Hello, Revere, and thank you for tuning in. We have a special guest today. He's been on before, but he does so much for the city of Revere and the community that we may have him on another 100 times, I hope. His name is Terminiello Jr. He's a customer service representative, and he's going to be talking about telephones for the seniors.
Morris, how are you? Glad to be back here again.
Hey, it's a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to have you. I hope we have you back many more times. Because you're always doing something different.
Well, that's the good thing. At least it's not the same old stuff over and over again. You know, tonight I think it's going to be very informative for everybody that's listening in over the next 20 years or so with this, because this can go on forever.
Right.
I work for the Department of Public Safety, and it's a great program. It's free to anybody with disabilities. It's called the Mass Equipment Distribution Program. We're located in Taunton, but we cover the whole state of Massachusetts out of Taunton. So I just want to let people know that this program is available. There's a very, very small amount of requirements. And before we get into the phones and what we have here, this is the application. People can call in at 1-800-300-5658. That's 1-800-300-5658. That gets you right in, and there's 6 of us, myself and 5 others, that handle the calls. And the first thing we ask you is if you're registered in the program, and if you're not, we'll mail one of these packets out to you. And in there is obviously an envelope with the instructions how to fill it out and so forth. Is all in here. You have to supply your own stamp. It's a state program, but the rest of it's free.
Any age limit on that, Al?
No, there's no age limit on this. The requirements, like I said, it's a very simple application. The main thing that here is, first of all, that you have to be a Massachusetts resident. You have to have a permanent landline telephone number with AT&T, Comcast, wherever you happen to have your telephone service. You need a landline, no cell phones. You need a regular telephone line. And then there's one financial question that we ask. Obviously, it's your address and your phone numbers have to be supplied. Email is optional. And then they ask if you make $50,000 a year or more or less. If you make $50,000 a year or under, the program's totally free. If you make over $50,000, there's kind of a mathematical equation on the back here, but we'll go over that if people call up. And even though you're making over $50,000, you still may get the program for free. But if not, you might be required to make a one-time copay for the life of you're in the program. So again, that's something if you have questions about, we'll handle on the phone on a case-per-case basis. And then lastly, the next part of the application is you need to have a doctor or audiologist fill out the medical part of the form and filling in any type of disabilities you have. So it has nothing to do with age, veterans, seniors, anything. It has to do with if you have a permanent disability that a doctor, a Massachusetts registered doctor, can certify that it's permanent. You know, not you have a broken leg, that's not permanent. But if you have a hard time walking because you were in an accident and from then on it's a permanent problem, or whatever you happen to have, those are the things that doctors can sign off and say yes. And let's face it, most people we have the hearing loss. After you hit 50, you have hearing loss.
What'd you say?
You're not kidding. Same thing with eyesight. So again, there's you know, if you have a debilitating problem, this program here will help you out, and it's free. That's what I can't express that more. Not only that, this is a full service organization. You get us on the phone, and we have service reps that go out to your home and install the phones. And if you have a problem with the phone, you call up. We try to fix it over the phone. And if not, we set up an appointment at your convenience to send somebody back out to your home to either fix or replace the phone. And if we have to send the phone to be fixed, we give you one to use until we get yours fixed and bring it back to you.
So you're never without a phone?
You're never without one of these phones. And again, they are a godsend to people who need them. Believe me, when I tell my microphone just fell apart here. Anyway, they really do help a lot. Hold on a second.
Al, as long as you put that on, I got a question for you.
Go right ahead.
That $50,000 that you mentioned, that limit, does that take into consideration the mortgage, the payment, the other money that you have to pay?
That's gross family income.
Okay.
That's on the top.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, we have that. So again, this program is totally free. All the features. And now, like I said, most people, we have low vision and or most of it is lack of hearing loss. So what these phones are is these are 3 that I brought. They're more of our more popular ones that are here. And just to show you this one here, they're all brand new, first quality phones. And
here, let me
just pull this right out of here.
Okay. You can just show them in the box.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so this phone here, if it has a speakerphone, it has large numbers, easy to dial, and these phones plug into the wall as well as the phone line, and they're amplified. So that's what makes them, there's volume on them to make them get louder.
Yep.
And then we have also what we call a boost button. When you hit that, it gets very, very loud. But what happens is when you hang up, that automatically shuts off. So if somebody else in the house picks up the phone, it doesn't blow their ears out that it's very loud. That's over here. We also have, there's a built-in flasher. So when the phone rings, not only is it ringing loud, this red light here flashes. So you can see that. And if that's not enough, we offer flashes that we can plug into your lights in your house. So when your phone rings, you'll see the lights flicker on and off. So we have a lot of things that will help a lot of people. And again, I can't emphasize enough.
Question, caller ID on there too?
Huh?
Is there a caller
ID? There's a caller ID screen right here.
Oh.
Okay, right here. Nice big screen so you can see that. So that's one phone.
Now the question.
Yep.
Does that phone come with a, let's say you have that phone downstairs as your main base. But do you get it like an extra phone if you're up in the
No, that's a corded phone. That's it. That's the phone as it stands.
Right.
What you're asking me for is cordless.
Right.
That's this phone right here. And now this particular model, cordless phone, comes in 2 models. This is amplified hearing, and it's got a caller ID screen. For people with a low vision problem, we have the same exact phone, but they eliminated the screen because you can't read it. So they made this bigger, and they made the buttons a little bit bigger so it's easier to dial, and it has talking caller ID. So as whatever calls come in, it tells you, it talks to you and tells you what calls coming in.
Oh, so we'll say like Mr. Morris or Mr. Terminiello?
It doesn't give the name, it gives the number only.
Oh.
But it does talk to you to tell you what number is calling.
Pretty good.
So this comes in. So this is a cordless phone that you can take around the house. And again, the rings here, and there's a red ringer over here that it flashes when it rings, and they ring very loud as well. And then again, these are our most popular phones. And then this one here is called the JB35. This is probably, I love this phone. For people who are very low vision or blind, these numbers are huge. I mean, they really are. If you could see it right here in this package, I don't want to tear them apart. They got to go back into stock. But if you could just take a look at the size of the numbers that are on here.
They're huge.
They're very, very big.
About an inch and a half.
Yeah, yeah. It makes it very easy for people to dial that phone. But the main thing is these numbers talk back to you. So when you're dialing the number, it repeats the number that you're dialing. So when you hit 3, it will say 3, 4, 4, 8, 8. So you know if you're dialing that number, you've hit the correct number to dial. So, and all these phones are amplified. So regardless, everybody can use a little help sometimes hearing, depending on, especially in your age bracket. Sometimes your friends, the older people, their voices out loud. So you can turn it up a little bit to get the incoming volume. And a couple of these phones have outgoing speech amplification. So if you have a problem, we have larynx devices for people who have...
I got it now,
yeah,
a little bit.
We have that device that you can get instead of a phone. One thing about this, you're allowed 1 phone in the program. That's it. Forever. But if you're married, the husband and the wife can each get a phone. But they each have to fill out one of these applications and get it certified. It's really a great program. There's 5 more people like me sitting in an office in Taunton, customer representatives. And I want to tell you something about the people I work with. They're the greatest people you ever wanted to deal with on the phone. We have...
Give us their names, Al. Give us their names. The first name, anyway.
Well, there's Al, there's Brian, there's Janice, there's Ann, myself, and Paul, and my immediate supervisor is Grant. And you couldn't find a bunch of people that you want to deal with over the phone. Can I tell you that anybody who calls, every call is resolved before you hang up. We either fix the phone over by talking to you over how to fix it, or you have an appointment. But every time you make a phone call to us, you have an answer to what you want, either by a fixed or an appointment to get it fixed. And we all have the same thing in mind. We want to give the best service to the people who call. It's tough enough having a disability. I understand that. And the group of people I work with, our managers stressed it to us when we first all started. There was nothing more important than being nice and courteous to the people who call in. And that's basically what we are. I really enjoy working with the people I'm with. We do nothing but want to do the best for the people who call in all over the state. I
have a couple of questions.
Go ahead, right ahead.
Okay. Before we went on the air, I asked you approximately how many phones you had. You said approximately a dozen. Approximately.
Approximately about a dozen different
devices. But this
devices.
is a good question. If a person is blind, do they have phones that have like Braille numbers on them?
That one I just showed you does. This big one here with the big buttons?
Yeah.
If you look on the picture of it, you'll see the Braille. There's Braille on the numbers too.
Yep. You can see the Braille.
We have TTY devices. We even have the new, which I didn't bring tonight, is the new CapTel device.
Yep.
Which is for people who are really deaf. Not hard of hearing, but deaf that cannot hear anything. What you do is you call through an operator. And now it's getting better because you need a computer. I mean, everything has its drawbacks. So technology is technology, and unfortunately, the older people aren't up with the technology. But we do have the technology. It's just can't seem to fit them both in the same square peg at the same time. But what basically it is you call in to a relay operator. They tie in to this CapTel telephone, and there's a 20-second delay, just give or take. This is without a computer.
Right.
And whatever words that I'm saying come across on a 7-inch screen that's on the phone. So the whole conversation is scrolling, and you're reading the conversation. If you can't hear it all, you're reading what the person on the other end of the phone is saying.
Right. Now, I was going to ask you, maybe it's going to be a repeat. Like they have tablets that you can talk to, and the tablets prints out what you want.
Yeah,
that's on the phones.
Well, you have yeah. That's basically what it is. You tie it into a computer. You're talking to the computer, and the computer is sending the data out over the line and sending it onto the screen. There are more issues with it as an analog phone, but if you tie it into a computer through the internet, there's no delay, and it's faster and it's quicker. And as an analog phone without a computer, you have to dial an 11-digit phone number to access the computer, and then it will tell you to dial the 11-digit number to access the person you're calling. So in reality, every person's calling a 22-digit phone number to reach you. And if you don't call that number, you don't have anything. No words come up. Nobody's going to hear you. So it's kind of that's in the early state. But now, and more people are going to it that find that they need it. You go to the internet-style phone. There wasn't one available. Now there is one. You don't need to dial the extra number, so anybody that calls you in, if you're tied into a computer, it automatically comes up. And believe me, that's well worth a few bucks.
Now let me ask you: is there any amount is there a minimum amount of calls that you got to make, or you can have the phone without making a single call?
No, there's no minimum, no nothing. This is your phone for life. Basically, if you have the phone put in your house, you live here in Riviera, and you go down to Florida for 3 months, you can unplug that phone, take it down to Florida, plug it into the wall, and it will work. There's nothing different about these phones as far as acting on your phone line. You're required to pay for the phone service. Let me get that straight.
Yep.
We're not the phone
only thing
company.
that's free is the phone.
The phone.
Right.
So, again, you can take that with you to on a trip, whatever, a month. If you live in Florida for 6 months, it doesn't matter. That's your phone.
Right. Question again. People my age sometimes have pockets.
Over 21?
22.
22.
But thank you.
You look young.
I know that. I'm a young 22. No, but this is a question I would like to ask you. people, seniors, a lot that I see have Parkinson's disease or their hands shake on there. If they drop a phone, let's say you put a phone in there.
Yeah, okay.
What happens then?
All right. We will. This is an area that we have.
Insurance? Do you have to buy?
No, there's no insurance.
Okay.
This is how this works. These phones are under warranty by the manufacturer for 2 years from defects.
Right.
They will fix or replace any phone that's broken without a defect. If it's like a normal defect, if it stops working, if you drop the phone and it smashes into 20 pieces, you're paying for the phone.
Okay, and can I ask you now?
So
how much do these phones run for, approximately?
Anyway, the ones that I have here, and again, this is not something that's going to hold me to here. These phones are about $85 a piece, and But
once you buy them, they're yours forever.
Well, we're going to give you the first one, and again, as long as you don't, there's no charge ever.
Right.
But if you break it, and you drop it, and you drop it in a tub of water, or whatever happens to it, you throw it against the wall, you're going to pay for the replacement of that phone.
Right.
At that time. But the good news is whatever it happens to be, 85, 65, they're all a little bit different. You have 12 months to pay for it.
Oh, that's good.
So if things happen, we understand that, but budget-wise, that's just, that you ask the question, that's the answer. If you drop it and it breaks and it's deemed that the phone is not working because of a neglect, we call it neglect. It's an accident. It's not that you did it on purpose, but the manufacturer has one or two things, either in warranty or neglect. Because there's only two ways things break.
Right.
Either broke on its own or you broke it.
That's right.
So if you broke it, then you're gonna be responsible for paying for it.
That's good. That's good.
That's the one downside of it.
Right, because of people my age, and I go to the senior center, their hands shake. As a matter of fact, even mine will sometimes too.
We understand. We understand. It's and we do. I'm not gonna lie.
Do they have rubberized phones? No, I don't mean that as no.
I know that. But no, we don't. We don't. But we do have a phone for people who are that bad, that are bedridden and so forth.
Right.
That it's hands-free. It's hands-free. We have voice dialers. You can just say, call Bill, and the phone will automatically dial for you. And we have another phone with a speakerphone in it. There's not even a handset on it. It's designed for people who are bedridden. And they wear a lanyard around the neck with a button. And if they can move one finger, and they can just move it, and they see the light going down, and when they see the number lit up that they want, they just push it, and I'll say, call.
Okay.
And
now,
it'll dial the phone.
You said something that I was thinking of, that there's no age difference, correct?
Correct. There's no age.
So if a person, let's say, like you said, like I'm 21. I'm 21.
Right.
I get a phone that fits me at 21. When I turn 50, that 21-year-old phone is no good to me anymore because I can't see good, I can't hear good. You exchange it?
Yes. Now here's what happens with that. There's all kinds of contingency plans. Let's just say for now that you get this phone.
Right.
And now, amplified is amplified. It's either amplifying enough for you to hear or it's not. Very few of them, right now, years ago, there used to be a difference in the tone. So, like after a couple of years, they came out with newer ones. But at this point now, they're all at about the same decibel level as far as loudness goes.
Right.
So that's either going to be working correctly or not. So if it's not working correctly, I'm going to replace the phone for you at no charge.
Right, but what I meant to say...
I understand, but let me finish.
Go ahead.
So now, 5 years from now, your eyesight starts going. Okay? So now you have poor vision, and you have little numbers on the other one. So you want to get something that's amplified in big numbers.
Right.
So what you do is you fill out another one of these. You go to the doctor, and you fill it out, and he adds low vision. So now you mail that in. Then when we get that back, we call you up and say, Morris, we'll see that you sent in another application, and we're going to add a vision disability to you. And we notice that the phone that you have isn't designed for that.
Right.
We'll bring you out a new phone.
Oh.
So we go out, get that phone, and we give you this phone or whatever phone you want. But anytime you want to upgrade down, whatever you want to call it, to with a different disability to add to the phone, one of these needs to be filled out. Now, if for some reason, let's just suppose you're still, see everything, it rolls around. We have a call within some of the older phones, we have called with the change within disability. So suppose you got a phone that you were hard of hearing with, and all of a sudden, you became deaf. You really don't hear anything at all.
What'd you say?
And you wanted to get one of those caption phones.
Right.
Well, you don't have to fill out another application because it's the same disability, but it got worse. So what we have for that, of course, this is the state. We have paperwork for everything. But again, it's a great program. It's the only way we can keep track of the inventory. And I'll tell you how we pay for this, by the way. This is not a dime of taxpayer money, by the way. I'll tell you how that's paid off in a minute. What we have is called a change in disability form within disability. So that meant that your disability got worse.
Right.
The one that you had. You didn't get another one. You have the same. You had hard of hearing. You went to death.
Right.
So it got worse. So we can do the same thing. It's just a thing of paperwork. Now I'm just going to tell you, as far as tax money goes, what funds this program. At the beginning of this program, I mentioned that one of the requirements is that you have to have a permanent landline telephone number.
Right.
Okay. If you look at your phone bill, and I'll bet you everybody has at one time say, what is this? At the bottom of the bill, it says tax E911, 45 cents. You pay that to the phone company. The phone company gives us that 45 cents. That's what pays for
That's
this
from
program.
all the residents of Massachusetts.
Everybody that has a phone pays that. I'll get it later. Pays that 45 cents tax on their phone bill anyway. So that's why we say you're required to have a landline telephone, because you're paying into the program. You're paying for the program. It's not coming out of your tax money that your paycheck is, but you're paying all the taxes that are included on the phone bill. One of them says E91. It's Emergency 911. And that's what this program was designed to do, was designed to give people with disabilities access to 911. That's the bottom line of this program. So that way, I understand that it opens up doors for everybody that has hearing problems, for everything. But this program is, and it's all over the country, by the way. Every state has this program.
Oh, that's good.
But I want everybody here to know one thing. The state of Massachusetts is rated #1 in this program in the nation, because we have really the only one that has the system that we have. We install them, we pick them up, we fix them, we replace them, we keep track of all our clients. We have a first-line product support. Other states that the money goes to, because that's where the money has to go to, that's why they pay that tax. All they do is you go to a senior center or someplace, they hand you a phone, have a nice day. We stand behind everybody in the state of Massachusetts. So that 45 cents a month is buying you an awful lot.
Okay, we've got about 4 minutes left, so
Okay.
I'd like to say, you bought a bunch of applications. I'd like to take them back to the senior center, #1.
Well, I guess I can let them go.
All right, #2 is what you talked about, which is fantastic. You're going to get a CD or a DVD. We're going to give one to the senior center so they can play it there, because what you said here, some people don't have Channel 8, the
That's
logo.
true. No, that's great. That would be really, really good, and they can play it at the senior center.
Right. And the other organizations can do it as well, too, that don't have the Comcast over here.
So let me just give you a website before we go.
Yep.
It's www.mass.gov. That's mass.gov, G-O-V, /Mass, MASSEDP, one word. So again, it's www.mass.gov /MassEDP, Edward Dog Peter. And the phone number to call, and any one of us can help you the same way, is 1-800-300-5658. Again, it's 1-800-300-5658. Unless you want to take a joyous ride down to Taunton.
Not really.
But any one of us will help you out. We're glad to do it. It's a great program. It's something that you're all paying into, but it's something that everybody needs. So I was glad that you allowed me to come over and talk to you about this.
We still got 3 minutes, but I'd like to say something to you.
Go right ahead. You can have 3 minutes.
No, thank you, Val. First of all, you did a beautiful job, and I'm sure you're going to help everybody that's listening in here.
Thank you.
But people don't know you're also co-chairman of the Revere Veterans Committee.
That's correct.
And you do so much for the veterans. So on behalf of the City of Revere and the Revere Veterans Committee, we present you with a flag.
Thank you.
Because you are a community veteran.
Thank you very much. I'm going to do something very special with this flag. I'm going to just tell you right now. Tuesday is Veterans Day. That's coming up for
Right.
this week. Wednesday, my grandson is going in the Navy for 6 years. He joined the Navy.
Good luck,
So
Dad.
I'm going to give him this flag for me to take with him. And I just, at this moment, I just want to say I'm very proud of my grandson, Anthony, and best of luck.
Right,
And,
Anthony?
God bless you.
And thank you for joining the great service of the United States of America.
Morris, it's always a pleasure, buddy.
It's a pleasure to have you up here, Al. And let me say one thing. You do so many things, so I'm going to say a few words to you.
Go ahead.
I'm not a minister. I'm not a priest. I'm not a rabbi. I'm not an imam. But I want to say God bless you for what you do, because you are terrific doing
you.
for this for the people, for the seniors, for the non-seniors, for the veterans, for the non-veterans. Thank you for that. And I want to thank all the people that do the service in our country that are overseas, the armed forces. He or she. Thank you all.
Yes,
And God
my
bless
words
you.
exactly. My words exactly. God bless them all. But again, thank you, everybody in Revere. Please take advantage of this program. It's really good, and it'll help everybody. There's a lot of people around that can do this, and I'm glad to be able to help
Right.
tonight.
And by the way, before I say the finish line, I got a couple of elderly ladies that I mentioned this thing to you. I'm going to give them each one of these to fill out and mail it to you before they even get to the senior center. One of them is waiting right outside the door here. Honest, waiting right outside the door for an application when I told her what you came in here to do for us. So, again, thank you, Al.
It was a pleasure.
Right? And God bless our great country, the United States of America. And this is a program at the Revere TV where you get this knowledge. Nowhere else but right here.
You're just a fountain of knowledge, Morris.
No. You got me mixed up with my brother, Dollar. He's the smart one.
No, this is great. It's a great program.
It is.
It allows a wide variety of help for the community.
And people never even knew about it now, but now they're all going to know about it because it's going to go all over the state. This goes all over the country and the world. You might get calls from Germany.
I get calls now about you.
No, not about me, about the phone.
Oh, I see. All right.
By the way, before we go off the air, I just want to mention one thing. When I was a kid, the phones we had, we used to tie a string here, put it near the ear, and talk like that. And you know, they even hung up on me then. Okay, Al.
Morris, it's always a pleasure being on the show.
It's nice because you did a terrific job.
Thank you very much.